I have a new book for sale. It's called China Virus, How Justin Trudeau's Pro-Communist Ideology is Putting Canadians in Danger. You can get it now at chinavirusbook.com or on Amazon. It's just $7.50 for the Kindle version or $14.50 for a paperback, but you'd better get it quick. Amazon banned this book for 2 months, refusing to sell it because it dared to criticize Trudeau and the World Health Organization. Amazon actually said that. I'll show you their letter in a moment. They've relented for now, and hopefully they won't censor it again, but you might want to get it now just in case. It's a quick read, but it's jam-packed with facts that you probably won't find in the mainstream media. Like this one. Did you know that Justin Trudeau's brother, Sacha Trudeau, did you know that he actually wrote a propaganda book for the Chinese Communist Party? Just a couple of years ago. He could have published the book about China with any publisher, but he chose to go with the Chinese dictatorship itself. They loved it because it was propaganda. And Sacha Trudeau boasted about that and how he got his brother Justin to read it just before going over to China on his first state visit there.
The book, and why that title? Well, the book itself, it is sort of an organic phenomenon. The Chinese wanted to write a book on my father's visit to China, and they asked me to write, this was in '60, and they asked me to write the preface, and the Canadian edition was published in Vancouver. They published it, so they asked me to write a longer preface, and I said, fine, but I would like to go back to China and get into things, rediscover the country. And when I went there, I found I had so many things to say that they said, well, we can't put that in a preface, so we'll put it in a section. And actually, we'd like you to write a full book on it.
Did you know about that influence on Justin Trudeau? Do you know about how the Chinese IT giant Huawei gets around the ban on foreign corporations donating to the Liberal Party by donating huge sums directly to Trudeau's in-house think tank called Canada 2020 that's run by Trudeau's lifelong friend? Huawei's not even hiding it. They're rubbing in your face in it. Did you know about this craziness? Trudeau actually orders Canada's environment minister to work on a committee of the Chinese dictatorship. It's not a bilateral thing like a Canada-China trade group or anything. It's just a committee of the Chinese government working for them, full stop. A Canadian government cabinet minister has been ordered by Trudeau to work for the Chinese government. Oh, and we pay China $1.6 million a year for the privilege. Did you even know about that? What, the CBC didn't tell you about it? Well, there are over 100 fully footnoted facts like that in the book. Obviously, the reason we're talking about China and Trudeau's obedience to it is the coronavirus that Trudeau just let into our country because he refused to stop flights from China. Trudeau and his public health officer, Theresa Tam, called anyone who wanted to close the border racist. Except that the people who first called for the border to be closed are actually Chinese Canadians because they knew that the Communist Party was lying about the virus. I document that in the book too. I document how Theresa Tam kept working for the UN's World Health Organization even as the pandemic unfolded, and how she always put the WHO first. Even skipping critical briefings here in Canada, she was actually part of the UN committee that whitewashed China's lies about the virus. I proved that in the book too. That's what this book is really about. It's not even really about the coronavirus. It's about how the virus has exposed Trudeau's deep connections to the Chinese Communist Party and how it reveals his own tyrannical instincts, from shutting down Parliament to banning journalists he doesn't like. Speaking of which, I mentioned that Amazon banned the book for 2 months. I've published 7 best-selling books on Amazon, including The Libranos, which went to #1. I don't know if you remember, but earlier this year, Trudeau sent 2 policemen from the Election Commissioner's office to interrogate me about that book, claiming it was an illegal political activity. I'm serious. Well, surprise, surprise, we went to upload this book in late April, 2 months ago, and Amazon refused. They just refused. When we asked them why, they said, quote, "We are referring customers to official sources for health information about the virus. As a result, we are not offering your book for sale." You know, Amazon will actually sell you Hitler's book, Mein Kampf. Amazon will sell you Mao's Little Red Book, but they will not sell you my book criticizing China. They actually said the reason was because I criticized the official point of view. because I dared to question Trudeau, China, the China-controlled World Health Organization. They didn't even hide their reason. We appealed and we were rejected. Then we had our free speech lawyers write Amazon a letter explaining how the book doesn't give any medical advice. It's a political book. But Amazon kept their ban in place for 2 more months. You could read our lawyer's letter at chinavirusbook.com. Amazon only finally relented this week. They lifted their ban with no explanation, but it was a week after I brought the ban to the attention of a senior American political leader who is known for fighting against Chinese censorship. I wonder if that had anything to do with Amazon's about-face. Look, we know that Justin Trudeau is going to hate this book, and we know the Chinese dictatorship is going to hate this book. This is the book that Amazon.com fought for 2 months to ban, but I think it's a book that every Canadian ought to read to know the real danger isn't actually the coronavirus. It's Trudeau's ongoing love affair with the world's most brutal dictatorship. That's what's putting us all in danger. Go to chinavirusbook.com or go to Amazon while you still can. I've got a new book about how Justin Trudeau's pro-communist ideology puts Canadians in danger. It's called China Virus, and Amazon actually banned it for 2 months. You can get it now for as cheap as $7.50 at chinavirusbook.com.